Thank you very much indeed for everybody coming today. We are so fortunate to be here. In the UK, very few people know about the Battle of Kohima, and yet it was such an important battle within the Burma campaign that more people should know about it. They should also know more about the support that the local Nagas gave to the Allied forces here at Kohima, because, quite simply, without the Nagas' help, the whole course of the battle would have been entirely different. I can also say, having done the walk myself, without the Naga support, the outcome of my getting back after 39 hours of walking would be entirely different. The Nagas are the most remarkable community, so supportive, and have been for many, many years. And we are so grateful for all the help that they gave us, and they give us to this day. We should also remember the extraordinary Japanese soldiers who, through no fault of their own, found themselves fighting in these hills, fighting bravely and ferociously. They were a respected enemy for their fighting skills. And what they were able to achieve in getting to Kohima was beyond the understanding of Delhi HQ at the time, 82 years ago. A fight in the Naga Hills against a large Japanese force was unfathomable because of the terrain here. The fact that the Japanese moved from the Chingwin River, arriving to where we set out for our walk towards Jessamy within about 5 days, with a large force to support them, was a remarkable feat. So we remember all those who found themselves involved in conflict here. It's a beautiful place. It's a very special place. We're very lucky to have the Commonwealth War Grave Commission looking after the place here. It's so well maintained. It's so well looked after by the community here too. I come and I'm always it's a very, very special feeling being in this particular Commonwealth War Grave Cemetery. And it's very nice that we have some time after the quick service to have a wander around and drink it all in. We are very lucky. Huge thank yous. What I would like to say, I suppose, next is we are the 4th of April. The 4th of April is where the official start date of the Battle of Kohima. My grandfather arrived in with the Assam Regiment, remnants of the Assam Regiment, on the afternoon of the 3rd of April. No record of it being in a rainstorm as we had, but you never know. That may have just not been written down. But they arrived in on the 3rd of April. They were tired and exhausted. But instead of being able to go and have a shower and some food and a long sleep, they were given a tot of rum each by the Assam Rifles, who were apparently very generous. And they then were put to digging the defences. Because Delhi HQ had no real understanding of the force that was coming through the hills, there were very few defences here at Kohima prepared. There had been great debate about whether Dimapur, the huge supply centre on the Brahmaputra Valley, whether that should be the key area for strategic defence, or whether Kohima itself should be the key area for defence. And there was a lot of forward and backwards about that, which in the end meant on the 4th of April, there were virtually nobody here to help Colonel Richards to try to hold the hill, which is what they were told to do, hold Kohima. So having the Assam Regiment come in, tired, exhausted, only 260 of them as it was a great sight for Colonel Richards. They were joined on the 5th of April by the Royal West Kents, 500 of those. But at the time, on the 4th of April, the official start date, there were about 1,500 Allied soldiers, many of whom were not with their units, so didn't know their commanders, didn't know their other soldiers that they were fighting with. 1,500 of these people trained to hold a weapon, facing the 31st Division of General Sato, which would be about 15,000 men. And they stood and they held this hill. I just think it's wonderful just to think on that as we sit here. They've held the hill for 2.5 weeks before relief arrived. One of the most, I think, poignant aspects of the whole Commonwealth War Graves cemetery is this very place where we sit now. We are on the Deputy Commissioner Pawsey's tennis court. The actual markings of the tennis court are here for us to see. Behind us was the Japanese front line. They took Pawsey's bungalow, I think it was about the 10th of April, and moved up here. So from about 10th of April The Japanese were ensconced on this side of the tennis court. The Allies were just behind where you're sitting, across the width of the tennis court, not the length even of a tennis court, across the width of the tennis court. But the Japanese did not get as far as I am, certainly not on any permanent basis. This area was effectively no man's land, and it divided the two armies in the whole of the Burma theatre. And this is where the battle was won and lost in many ways, depending on which side you're on. This key tennis court was the dividing line between the two. But this is where the Allies were able to resist and stand, and the Japanese were never able to get onto Garrison Hill and wipe out the force. And from this moment forwards, the Japanese were only going back through India, through Burma, and to their eventual surrender in August 1945. So a pivotal moment in the war history, possibly even world history. And you're sitting here, right on it. But I think it's probably time for us to go and pay our respects at the altar. There'll be an opportunity then, if you'd like to come down to the Dorset Memorial. The Dorset Regiment soldiers have a memorial within the Commonwealth War Graves Cemetery. And it was the Dorsets who actually retook the tennis court with the support of a tank on the 13th of May. That's also just a reminder that the Japanese were here on the 10th of April, pretty much just behind where I'm standing, and the Allies were not able to get back onto the tennis court till the 13th of May. Just shows how great the Japanese were at defending as well. And they were able to retake the tennis court with the help of a tank that had to be hand-winched up the back of Garrison Hill. It took them 24 hours, the Royal Engineers, to hand-winch the tank up to Garrison Hill, came to the top of the tennis court area, and there was a real concern about how they were going to manage to get onto the tennis court because it involved an 8-foot sheer drop. And they were very concerned that if it didn't go perfectly, the tank would lose the track and they'd be sitting ducks. But very bravely, Waterhouse, as he was known, Captain Waterhouse, Tanky, he drove the tank over, and they were then swiftly supported by the Dorset Regiment coming and retaking the tennis court. So perhaps it's particularly apt that we're able to go to the Dorset Memorial, and I have the collect that was written, which was written for and then delivered during the commemoration service for that, which we can then read out there. And then I think you're free to wander around and enjoy everything. But thank you very much.